public approval is so high of deportation.
But details matter. It depends, as you know, it depends on how you ask the question. If you ask the same people, do they think we should maintain due process in the United States of America? The answer is overwhelming yes. Mm-hmm. Do dreamers deserve better than the limbo that they find themselves in? Overwhelmingly, on a bipartisan basis, yes. And so I think it's important to break down three things. Number one, do we need a safe and secure, orderly, humane border? Absolutely. No disagreement there. People seeking to come to the United States, whether it's to seek asylum on work visas, et cetera, we definitely have to modernize that system and be more strategic in those capacities. But we can't forget the millions of long-term residents, people who have been here, working, paying taxes, raising families, buying homes, contributing to the strength of our economy. They deserve better.
You want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
You just can't make this up. Y'all know how they do it. Family, y'all know how they do it. They run to the fake news media. They play Mr. Good Guy. I'm the good person. I'm the hero. I'm the one trying to save the day. I'm the victim. You just can't make this up. Put this brother back in handcuffs. Hands behind your back. That's how I'm feeling, y'all. Hope y'all having an amazing Monday. That you're having an amazing week. I love you guys, man. But here we are. The people spoke loud and clear. And actually, his approval rating, we'll show it all in the show today. His approval rating is skyrocketing on immigration, especially. And even legal immigrants, they want people. They voted for mass deportations. The people have spoke loud and clear. Every single swing state, the majority of America. But we run onto the fake news, so here we are. Here we are.
Democrats say that Secretary Noem should resign. Is that where you are?
Look, that's maybe not my focus right now, but I do think there's some serious questions. How does the cabinet secretary not know the senator from California when she steps foot into Los Angeles? She came through the Senate for confirmation at one point. And certainly, how does the Secretary of Homeland Security not know how to de-escalate a situation? It's because you can't or because they don't want to. And it sets the tone. Donald Trump and Secretary Noem have set the tone for the Department of Homeland Security and the entire administration in terms of escalation and extreme enforcement actions.
Put this brother back in handcuffs, please. It's like y'all did right here. I'm telling you, this is a beautiful thing. This was the most beautiful clip we've seen last week. I'm telling you, one of the most beautiful videos that went viral all over the internet was this right here. Y'all got to do this again, and not just again on him, but many others. There's so many people that need to be walked out in handcuffs. Hands behind your back. And the officer, he's gonna say it so beautiful in the video. People need to be walked out, man. Especially in California. I think about every last one of them in California ought to be walked out. Just like this. Hell yeah. Put them on the ground, on the floor, against the wall. Put them handcuffs on there tight. And wipe them handcuffs down in DW40. Got doggone right. DW40. They say Rick, sir. WD40.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go and
Say he said.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go and stand behind my back.
All right. Cool. Other hand.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Other hand, sir.
I told y'all, when you say read it out loud, Patriots family. Y'all got to say it out loud and proud. Just do it for me, please. The tongue is very, very powerful. Mama always says, speak highly of yourself. Speak good of yourself. Speak positive. You know, speak about your dreams, your goals, about this and that. It'll come to pass, maybe. If you just speak highly and positive, or just speak something that you want to happen in the near future, it'll happen, maybe. It'll happen. And I've been saying I want to see handcuffs. I've been saying this for how long, y'all? I've been saying it for a very long time, loud and proud. And guess what? Somebody gets a footage of somebody being, look at them hand. Let's look, just look.
Other hand. There's no recording loud out here.
Look at that. You hear that click, click? You hear that click, click? You hear that click, click? Now, I know they didn't throw him in the cell and turn the lights off, but that's okay. This is what I want to see, though. Yeah, it's okay. I know we didn't get exactly what we wanted. Because what we really want, we want them to throw him in the cell, turn the lights off. Yeah, throw him in the slammer, turn the lights off. Make them look at the wall, stare at the wall. Here, I don't know what you're going to do in there. Play tic-tac-toe. Scratch your leg or something. Scratch your leg. Scratch, do some push-ups. Get in there and do some jumping jacks. I don't know. But I'm happy with this. If we could just make an example out of people and put them in handcuffs. We might not get exactly what we want, but this is a start. We got to start somewhere, y'all. Come on now, family. Y'all give me a break. We got to start somewhere. This is beautiful. You know? Some people just got to be put in handcuffs. And some of them, a lot of them, it got to be done this way. Put them on the ground, rough them up, because all they want to do is, especially Democrats and liberals, libtards, all they want to do is fight. Act like they ain't did nothing wrong. Act like they just such the most innocent angels. Like they in the right. They hate accountability. Yeah. Put them on the ground, rough them up. Yeah, this is good. Hold on, my camera messed up. Wait a second. Hold on, I'm messing my camera up now. My camera messed up. We good? All right, we good. But yeah, you just can't make this up, man. What a complete scum. A complete scum.
You did was low-class stunt. It was rude. It was Clay. Let's stipulate that what Alex Padilla did was low-class stunt. It was rude. It was disrespectful. It was dumb. But doesn't the footage, which has been replayed now more times than the Zapruder film, show a severe overreaction by the Secret Service?
No, I don't think so. And I think in the context of what we just saw happen in Minnesota, if you are a grown man and you are advancing on a woman, I think it's what we would expect for someone to do here. Nobody knew who Alex Padilla was. And by the way,
but Christy Nomi is.
Maybe, but in the middle of a press conference when you're doing the answering questions, I don't know that she's immediately recognizing him. And I also think poor Padilla, like he saw this as his big moment. He barely made the first half of the show, because
lots going on.
Almost immediately, Israel attacked Iran. I was kind of joking about it. Like this was his big stunt that was going to elevate him to the top of all the A blocks and every television news, and then immediately it vanished. But no, I think this is wrong. I also think this is why Democrats have trouble connecting with men. In particular, men who watch that, I'm telling you, do not see a strong Democrat Party. They look at it and say, you're storming a woman who is doing a press conference. You aren't identifying yourself. It's the absence.
Beta cook losers. Yeah. Them pages over here, we flexing them muscles. Drinking them protein drinks. Yeah. Go on, make me something to eat, baby. Yeah. Let me stop. They say, Rick, sir, please stop. What are you talking about, sir? Rick, please, sir.
Of strength. You see Stephen A. Smith called him out. It just looks pathetic, and I think that's the problem.
I would just disagree because DHS said he didn't identify himself, and we saw him saying, I'm Senator Alex Padilla, but look, he didn't just wander in off the street. He was escorted in by the FBI, and most of the media, which have been running this footage around the clock, say pushing a United States senator to the ground and handcuffing him is a big embarrassment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I traveled a lot with the Secret Service when I worked for the president, and they are fine law enforcement agents. And it's also, Alex Padilla was on a Sunday show today saying that he was escorted into the room by law enforcement. The other law enforcement in the room were notified. So it's unclear to me why Secret Service took that action. Those rooms are very small. There is a lot of press. There's not a lot of public. So they have been so aggressive? Should he have been thrown to the ground when he was outside? No, absolutely not. You have Republicans saying that it's not the America they live in, or it's sad to see, or it's shocking at every level. So there has to be a reckoning here. We cannot continue to act like this. We cannot continue to elevate on every level here.
All the administration had to do, I know you disagree with this, is say, we regret the Secret Service went too far. As Laura Ingraham says, on the one hand, I understand it appears the Democratic Party is sympathetic to people who do this kind of thing, but it's gold for the Democrats.
I don't even agree with that. I think this actually blows up in their faces. And I'll give credit to Noam. It didn't get as much attention. They talked for 15 minutes afterwards, face to face, and actually had a conversation. And she was willing and able and met him, and they uncuffed him and they let him go. But I think,
put him back
sadly,
in cuffs. I say put it back in cuffs. Put them back in cuffs and finish what we started. And not just him, a whole bunch of other. Especially that we ought to just clean house in California. We start in California and then just go down the line. Yeah, Chicago, New York. I mean, we can just go down the line. Yeah. And not just, get them governors, them mayors too, elected officials, filthy politicians, hands behind your back. Yeah, and just watch how many people that be walked out. I'm telling you, it's so many filthy individuals, man. Terrible people that been lying, scamming, laughing to the bank. Unbelievable.
This is where we are when anyone advances on a public figure in a aggressive manner. I think you have to protect the public figure. And I understand that they may have not had great coordination if the FBI let him in and the Secret Service weren't informed of what was going on. But it wouldn't even have looked very good to me if he had been able to do what he did. Who interrupts a press conference to yell at a sitting cabinet secretary? That's a poor choice, I think, strategically. He actually benefited by the fact that the security guards were as aggressive, because otherwise I think he would have looked even worse if he had done what he intended to do.
Hey, man, unbelievable. You just can't make it. You just can't.
Ask the question. No, it doesn't, and the numbers aren't even remotely vague on this. Americans support mass deportations. They're sick of the lawlessness. Even legal immigrants support the deportation of illegal aliens, as CNN recently pointed out. So all of this temper tantrums and even serious violence that has happened across America since Trump started going after criminal aliens, like the worst of the worst, it's all just a show to hide that they're politically vulnerable. But this is going to backfire dramatically, because the people we're seeing on the streets, they are intense radicals. Most of the public does not relate to them. Even moderates, independents, and centrists, they don't relate to these hardcore radicals. Some of them are wearing black masks and attacking police officers and insulting military. Even some of them saying some really horrendous things and calling them traitors. And then they go and have the nerve to make themselves out as victims. No, the United States has a political process where you have elections and you debate your points rationally in the Congress. I know this is a foreign idea for Democrats, but what they need to do is actually make rational points and debate and to compromise, because the American people overwhelmingly support Donald Trump. They gave the Republicans the majority in the House and Senate, and they even have, in some ways, a center-right Supreme Court on a lot of issues. So the Democrats are in the minority right now, and they're not coping with it very well. They only really know how to be dictatorial and tyrannical, as we saw in the
Democrats are done. Motor shot, transmission shot, no common sense. The midterms, throw it out in the middle of the street, set it on fire. That's it. It's over. I just want, because somebody got to come on here and be real. I'm not gonna come on here acting all professional and you know, I got dog it. It's over for Democrats. It's on fire. Run over it and throw that truck back in reverse and run over it again. That's it. Hasta la pista. We want to be here. Yeah. Throw that truck back in reverse, run over it again. Put it back in drive, run over it again. Back in reverse, run over it again. Done. And we just keep winning. I'm just waiting for the next headline, the next breaking news, the next footage of somebody recording somebody else being arrested, put in handcuffs. That's a good start. We might not get exactly what we want, but if we can just put them in handcuffs, that's a good start. I'm ready for somebody else to be put in handcuffs. Y'all let me know how you feel. I'm ready for somebody else to be able to put in. I'm just saying, this is what I advocate for. I advocate for accountability, handcuffs, made an example out of, walked out, got dogged. You got to get either fired or sued. You know, yeah, this is what I advocate. They say, Rick, sir, you're crazy, sir. Yeah, this is what I advocate for. Accountability, made an example out of. Right from wrong, common sense. This is what I advocate for.
Biden regime, when they censored Americans, they carried at the state level, they carried out the pandemic response restrictions way too far. Without scientific justification, as we know now, and like even top scientists in the administration would back that up. So they don't know how to be in the minority.
Mass murder.
The point. And Padilla, well, the Democrats are vulnerable, and he's being challenged on mainstream media about this deportations. And we're used to the mainstream media trying to help the Democrats. So Padilla, you know, and the rest of you, Maxine Waters, Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, the polling is not on your side on this, and you torching your own cities, rhetorically speaking, by allowing these Antifa miscreants, and you know, I know we had a curfew in Los Angeles for the last week, but yeah, they violated the curfew wantonly. They attacked ICE officers outside a federal ICE facility this weekend. There's been a lot of chaos in California, and both LA Mayor Karen Bass and California Governor Gavin Newsom, they said they don't need help from President Donald Trump. Well, that's not true. You did need the help, because even this weekend, your city in Los Angeles is out of control. And there's been other attacks across the United States, serious ones, even as attempted, you know, just serious violence in New York and in Philly and some other cities. So Democrats, when you're getting called out in the mainstream media for being out of touch with the American people on immigration, you might want to rethink your stance and stop just obstructing everything that the American people want to be done, because you're not really thwarting Trump. You're defying the will of the people.
You know, and I'll give the fake news media, we'll give them a half a bit of credit, because we're just seeing clips now of them. They're actually being called out, you know, and there's clips all over the internet we can show, you know, but they're actually being called out, you know, that, hey, you know, people, you know, the people spoke loud and clear. Your stance is wrong. Sir, you shouldn't have, you know, interrupted that press conference. You know, you made a fool of yourself. You embarrassed yourself. Your party approval rating is at an all-time low. Majority of America voted for this. What President Trump promised, what he ran on. So, yeah, you made a fool out of yourself. You just can't make this up.
Is that where you are?
Look, that's maybe not my focus right now.
And then we run to the fake news media. We run to the fake news media.
room, started lunging towards the podium, interrupting me and elevating his voice, and was stopped, did not identify himself, and was removed from the room.
You know? And the fake news media even came out and said that Trump's approval rating is skyrocketing on immigration, on mass deportations. Yeah. I mean, you just can't make it up. You just can't.
Taken to the floor by those agents. How are you doing?
Yeah, look, I'm okay. I've been on the phone off and on with kids, right? Because my kids travels fast in this day and age with technology and security. The same questions and requests for information that we've had, not just the last sort of week or so of the activity in Los Angeles, but since the beginning of the administration. Then just imagine what can happen to anybody in the country, for that matter.
We heard from you briefly at the press conference after you came outside of the federal building in Westwood. We've heard more extensively from Secretary Noem and the Department of Homeland Security, and I want to just tell you a little bit, because I'm sure this has been a whirlwind, about what they've been saying. Secretary Noem said that you, quote, lunged towards her at this press conference. The Department of Homeland Security said the Secret Service believed that you were an attacker. And the Department of Homeland Security called this political theater. What's your response, and what's your version of what happened?
Well, first of all, that's ridiculous. It's a lie, but par for the course for this administration, right?
Put this... I was going to say something, but I don't want to get the video taken down. But put this brother in handcuffs. Put him back in. You see how we run to the fake news media, the CNNs, the MSNBCs? And then he was on there with, what was it, MBS, CBS, with that lady. A disgrace, man. You know, but the people spoke loud and clear. You Democrats can keep making a fool out of yourself. And it's only getting worse for your party. Y'all will never recover. You know, you have no common sense. Look at this swamp creature walking around. Look.
You want National Democrats siding with violent open border rioters?
Look.
You want and encouraged them yesterday. Why don't you want to answer the question, Congresswoman?
We need term limits. Look.
Border rioters.
We need term limits, man.
You want and encouraged them yesterday. Why don't you want to answer the question, Congresswoman?
We need handcuffs and term limits. Handcuffs and term limits. What y'all think, man? You just can't make it up. I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, family.